This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Man who went berserk threatening customers at Walmart killed a woman a day later, was lowered to moderate risk, and then slaughtered 3 more. A Colorado man has amassed 4 murder charges during the span of 2 separate parole stints. As of last year, Ricky Lee Roybal Smith, 38, stood accused of 3 counts of murder in the first degree, according to police and prosecutors in Denver and the adjacent large city of Aurora. The Denver area killings occurred within hours of one another during a crime spree last summer. As of late last week, the defendant is facing a 4th charge of second-degree murder out of Arapahoe County, prosecutors announced. The 4th homicide charges dates back to during the early morning hours of June 29, 2025, Jesse Schaefer, 27, and Scott Davenport, 61, were stabbed to death in Aurora. The victims were attacked and left to die on Moline Street and Peoria Street, respectively. Both men were homeless at the time. Schaefer was killed at around 1:45 a.m. on the day in question, stabbed some 15 times, according to the Adams County Coroner's Office. Within the hour, Davenport was stabbed roughly 90 times in the back. Later that same day, Roybal Smith was arrested for a hit-and-run involving 2 pedestrians near the intersection of Galapagos, Street and West 9th Avenue in Denver. He was booked in jail around 11 p.m. By 2 a.m. the next morning, the defendant's cellmate, Vincent Chacon, 36, was found laying face down and dead in the cell. Initial assessment suggested the victim died while choking on an apple, according to an arrest affidavit. Those claims were sourced to Roybal Smith, who allegedly told Deputy Chacon was choking on an apple and needed help. In fact, the deceased man was found laying on top of an apple and with a bite taken out of it, and a piece of apple was removed from Chacon's throat during an autopsy. Later, however, it was determined Chacon, who was in jail awaiting release on a traffic violation, died as a result of asphyxia due to external compression of the neck, otherwise known as strangulation. You locked up a traffic violator with a murderer. Chacon's death prompted public outrage over jail policies. The victim's family questioned why the 2 men were ever detained together and why the victim was still being detained in the first place. We received a text from Denver County Saturday saying they had released him, Chacon's mother told Denver-based Fox affiliate KDVR. Monday morning, they said they didn't have him there. Then Tuesday morning, the coroner called to tell me he had passed. Oh, no. Jeez. Now more official missteps are being alleged in the aftermath of Roybal Smith being charged with murder yet again. On June 22nd, Meg Eberhardt, whose age is unknown, was found unconscious at a light rail station in Inglewood, a small city on the far southern edge of the Denver metro area. She was taken to a hospital and died several days later. The victim was found after she left her rideshare vehicle to use the restroom around 3 a.m. that night, according to the Inglewood Herald. The woman's Lyft driver told police he heard her scream and that a man outside knocked her out, so he activated an emergency alert. The Inglewood Police Department looked to Roybal Smith as its primary suspect, alleging he ran from the scene of the crime. But Arapahoe Arapahoe. Yeah, Arapahoe. I think that's how it goes. Arapahoe County. Prosecutors demurred because Eberhardt's cause of death was long ruled undetermined. But the Uber or Lyft driver, rather, was a witness. On February 25th, prosecutors charged the defendant for Eberhardt's death. The cause of death determination does not appear to have changed, but prosecutors now believe the woman's death was a crime. The Inglewood Police Department has worked tirelessly for the past 3 years to seek answers and closure in this complex case, the department said in a statement released after the charges were filed. This outcome reflects the unwavering dedication of our entire detectives bureau, who committed countless hours to carefully building a thorough case. As it turned out, Roy Ball Smith was on parole at the time Eberhardt was killed. For years, the Colorado Department of Corrections ranked the on-again, off-again inmate as a very high risk toward recidivism. Then, in 2022, he was categorized as a moderate risk. How do you go? Okay. Though the defendant waited years to be charged in the Eberhardt case, he was quickly charged for another crime around the same time. He's really busy, you know. The day before the woman was attacked, Roy Ball Smith went berserk at a nearby Walmart supercenter in Inglewood. The outburst was so severe that he was charged with threatening customers at the big box store and received a 4-year prison sentence. Wow. But he never served all 4 years. No, the defendant was eligible for parole in 2025. His moderate risk designation still intact. He was subsequently granted parole in January last year, and then allegedly went on to kill 3 more people. Roy Ball Smith has been paroled 4 times since 2012. How does this happen? You know? They just, does somebody just feel sorry for him? You know, does he have the type of face that you go, aw, doesn't look much like it to me, but I guess someone did. I don't know. Don't you do that again. So now he's a moderate risk. You know? I mean, this is literally, the system becomes an accessory to murder here. You know, you're enabling this monster. He's a candidate for the death penalty. You know that, don't you? And he's a prime reason why you're just going to have to do that. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Crazy bitch news.
Hi, it's me. Well, here's the deal. This show was supposed to come on the last night, but it's going to have to happen now. All kinds of problems, technical difficulties. The strange thing is, I keep thinking it's a mess up with OBS and whatnot, but OBS worked fine when I did the pop culture breakdown show. Now that show ended up having to start over from who knows why. It wasn't on my end. Yeah, but yeah, he didn't know what happened there. So I just started over and it went fine. So then I set this up after working on a bunch of other stuff and put it together. And then it got all weird. I mean, it was coming through and you could see it, but it was almost like it was still like the EV Mux version where you can see the green glow around my head and stuff like that. You couldn't see the green glow, but my head would disappear. And sometimes you go too far back or I'm trying, yeah, there my shoulder disappears and stuff like that, Whereas the purpose of projecting OBS and it doesn't do that. I've never seen it do that before. And it wasn't doing it in the OBS thing. So what the hell? I don't know. I didn't want any crap, I just want to get through this and move on. So that's what I'm gonna do. So thanks for tuning in. And, I think the idea of, hey, running this little intro video and stuff is probably for the better. It gives time for everybody to show up. So now that all 9 are here, yeah, what do you got to do? We'll get started. So now my plan, I'll stick to it, was like if I risk doing it completely live, it's probably going to have these problems and it'll shut down. It'll shut off the whole thing. It's done that before. And so I still don't understand what happened. Now, some of the stuff was on OBS. I had crap I'd forgotten about and it was still running. So you go in there and shut that off. I'm guessing that was part of the problem, but other things, it still doesn't explain some of the problems I had. Like I was trying to get in on Pat's show last week and he was like, huh, what do you mean? And I couldn't get in. I could see the chat and I could see his little thing, but not the show. Anyways, long-winded thing. And then the next night it worked out fine. I don't know. I'd rather know. So I did that wrong. So don't ever do that again. But I don't know. I don't. Nevertheless, I thought, well, I'll tape the video, the news segments ahead of time and run them. Now, don't worry. I'll be here the whole time and I'll come in between them and discuss it further. And provided I'm still able, maybe I'll draw a picture or something. I'm going to have to figure that one out, though. Maybe I could switch the OBS on for that. And the drawing camera, which is up there, could work. There is a way to do it in EV Mux, though. I could do that. So nevertheless, we'll get there. If that doesn't work out, well, don't worry about it. It's my problem. It's not yours. Anyway, again, thanks for showing up. Oh, somebody left. Oh, well, damn it. I took too long explaining all that crap. So we'll get on to the stories. Now, I played the Crazy Bitch News segment because, well, that's mostly what it is. Now, ladies, don't feel bad. And don't identify with these bitches because, you're not them. They're them, and even though there's a couple of men in here, kind of, sort of, but it all kind of fits. Yeah, it's weird. But anyway, first things first, an update from a previous story. And basically, this perpetrator made a plea deal, no surprise. But we'll cover that here for your Nailsin News needs. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Time now for a Nailsin News Update. All right, we're going to revisit with this 28-year-old teacher who is now admitted to sex crimes. with a 15-year-old student as thousands of sordid texts emerge. Remember the booby? There she is. Yeah. So a former teacher, yeah, she's no longer a teacher because, she admitted it. Has admitted that, of course, sometimes even that. Anyway, to sexual offenses involving a 15-year-old pupil after she sent the boy thousands of texts and engaged in kissing and touching with him. Jamela DeBooby, 28, confessed to charges of gross sexual imposition and unlawful sexual conduct with a minor during a hearing in February. I mean, she confessed during the hearing. She didn't proceed to molest the kid in the hearing. Now, on April 2nd last year, a whole year, police were summoned to Salado Creek Drive in Columbus, Ohio, USA, where a woman reported finding her nephew with one of his teachers in her car. The boy disclosed that he had been in a relationship with the teacher, which involved kissing and touching each other. The booby, previously a teacher at Horizon Science Academy in Columbus, taught the student in one of her year 11 classes. I mean, this is a British tabloid, I believe, Daily Star. Yeah. So I guess that's how they say that. Whatever. Anyway, confirmed the Franklin. Yeah, during a police interview, the victim revealed that the pair had been texting and talking on the phone, as well as engaging in sexual activity. Upon inspecting the boy's phone, detectives discovered hundreds of calls and thousands of texts between the child and his teacher. DeBooby is no longer employed at Horizon Science Academy and awaits sentencing. Well, there you go. She admitted to the whole damn thing. And, well, once, texts and probably images and all that. And what else are you going to do? But as I recall, I think she was fired immediately, even before she entered the plea deal. So I'm beginning to think that, yeah, I think, it was a charter school or something like that. So see, there's a difference between those and, of course, private schools. They can fire them immediately. But public schools, well, that powerful union. Boy, oh boy. And in some cases, I think even in New York, even after conviction, they still kept them on pay. They didn't put them back in the school. They gave them some desk duty or something. But I mean, geez Louise. Yeah. But anyway, so there you go. There's the update. She said, all right, you got me. I mean, what else is she got to do? They text messages. And I'm assuming, I seem to recall that, yeah, there was some pictures she sent, stuff like that. But nevertheless, definitely the communication between the two, plus the aunt caught them in the act. Idiots. So that's that. She's like, well, I guess I'll take whatever deal they give me because that's as good as it's going to get now. But then again, this might be a Mary Kate Letourneau story because she said she's deeply in love with the boy. And in a couple of years, he'll be of legal age. Maybe they'll run away and get married. Could be something like that. I don't know. But anyway, that's it for the booby in more ways than one. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, there you go. Yeah. So no surprise there. The text messages, and I seem to recall there were images. They're more than likely, and all that type of stuff. Plus, the kid's going to brag about it and whatnot. And then, of course, here comes the aunt. Yeah. Usually it is the kid bragging with the friends and they pass it around and all that stuff. And then it gets here. She just couldn't stop. She's doing it in the car with him. Whatever. Anyway, That's the deal. She'll get a plea deal and all that. But boy, did I mess up that graphic there. That head's too big on that body. And that's going to bother me the entire show. All right, hang on. I got to go back and redo it. We're going to watch that. No, I'm kidding. That's just too bad. It didn't work out that way. And I didn't even notice it. Well, there's a little stinger video I made for the end, and it really shows up there. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I looked at the graphic again, and I'm like, man, I got to get this eye surgery soon. But there's so much else to do. But anyway, I'm standing by the pronunciation of the name. I think it's fairly accurate. And I don't really hear any decent arguments to the contrary. Not that anyone's offered any. But I don't know how you would get it if it had an S on the end or an ES, like de boobies. And then you could just say de boobies. That would be nice. It would. I mean, it's a terrible story already. Let's, can't something be funny? I don't know. But anyway, that's the update. So now we'll start off with probably the worst story of them all, other than maybe it's not true. Hopefully, it's not, but probably is. But anyway, we'll go with that. And, no, there is a murder too. That's probably the worst. Yeah. Later on, though. All right, we'll go with this one. These partners in crime. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. A Massachusetts cop and her husband are accused of sexually abusing a child. So, yes, a Massachusetts cop who was mysteriously placed on leave has been accused of years-long sexual and physical abuse of a minor whom she and her husband were caring for. Plymouth police officer Samantha Palrine, 31, and her husband Daniel Forand, so she kept her maiden name, I guess, 37, both abused the alleged victim beginning at age 12. The accuser reported that they met Palrine and her husband through the accuser's aunt, who attends the same church as the couple. Oh, good Lord. Well, there she is. All smiles and everything, But, so the couple took the 12-year-old child in and became their legal guardian. The sexual abuse began shortly after they moved in with Palrine and Forand. The alleged victim claimed Palrine and Forand both sexually assaulted me until 2025 and physically assaulted me until 2026. The affidavit specified the physical abuse was only at the hands of Forand. They are looking for me, and I am scared for my safety, the victim said. The couple have been barred from contacting or abusing the accuser, I would assume, right? And they must stay at least 100 yards away. Separate abuse prevention. Abuse prevention orders against the duo. Yeah. See, it's two orders. Palrine must hand over her guns, ammunition, gun license, and firearms purchaser identification card. She was placed on leave by the department the same day the victim won the order against her. And after the Massachusetts State Police informed the Plymouth Police, it had opened an inquiry into the claims. The Plymouth Police Department is committed to accountability and transparency with our community, the department said in a press release, noting that it also launched an internal probe into Palrine. I wonder if that's her vehicle that she had. I don't know. Anyway, violations of department policy or state law will not be tolerated. Pale Ryan is, doing court and all that. She started with the Plymouth Police in April 2022. So not all that long ago. I believe I picked the right career for me, for my personality, and what I wanted from a job because, well, the range of emotions from this job can vary drastically. I know that in some instances, I'm truly able to make a difference in someone's life, Pale Ryan said at the time. Well, that's well, this is just awful. They were the legal guardians, not quite adoption, but damn near close to it, and abuse that and everything else. So, or it maybe there's more to the story. Innocent until proven guilty, and for God's sakes, one would hope that that's the case, that this didn't happen, and you just got some troubled kid wanting revenge against them because I don't know, didn't like the rules. But I mean, if it was ooh. There's always one pervert out there preying on victims and whatnot. But when it's two of them, working together, and hell, they're married, and is this the only victim? Wow. Weird. Bizarre. And disgusting. But again, innocent till proven guilty. We'll see. Anyway, there you go. See? Can't trust anybody. Nothing. No one. Yeah. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, I got to admit, sometimes I can't come up with a way to end the segment. It's embarrassing, and I apologize for that because I'm just experiencing the embarrassment right now. And, well, it's my punishment. All right, there you go. A really god-awful story. And again, yes, the innocent till proven guilty, of course. And one can only hope that, yeah, it's more, but what are the odds? Look how that last one went. Turns out, no, it was all true. So, but that one, jeez. So, anyway, there's more where that came from. And, but first, I need to remind you that this is brought to you by Supertip. Yes, that's right. Supertip.gg/Doug. Yes, it's just that simple. By a staggering coincidence, it ends in my name, Doug. So that's all you got to do. You head over there, and oh boy, you can send an image tip. You can send just a text tip, you'd like rather. You can send one with these lovely voices that are prepared for you with these funny little characters, and you can ask a question, make a comment, whatever you want in there. Now, some of those images things, I'll have to, proofread it first. yeah. But other than that, it's cool. So do check it out. And when one of those pops in, don't worry. I will shift to the super tip window here at eBay Bucks, and we will get to that toot sweet. It's probably not the proper pronunciation of that, and I should know better. I'm in Louisiana, but we're going to go with that. We will. I mean, we have to, because I'm in charge. It's my show. Yeah. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, it better be. So a special ed teacher has admitted to having sex with not one, but two of her students. And apparently, all at once. I mean, both of them were in the room in one of these encounters. I mean, what the hell? So here we have it. High school special education teacher has allegedly admitted to having sex with two 16-year-old students. Once when they were in the same room. Wisconsin World Studies teacher Nadia Horn, 22, admitted to having sex with both pupils, including 3 times with one who told cops they did everything sexual you can do with a person. The first victim was in the room when she first had sex with the other boy too. Uh, The first victim when you mean she as in the teacher, right? Not that this is a boy and girl she's abusing. Anyway, with the other boy too, with the teacher groping him before he left them at it. Huh? So this is a boy and girl? Anyway, I made a mistake, the teacher allegedly told cops in her interview, wildly claiming that the teacher-pupil sex felt mutual. Horn's confession came after she was seen weeping in her mugshot as cops said they were investigating her for several victims. Maybe it's more than 2. Horn bought her first victim an iPhone 14 in January when he said he was unable to Snapchat her, then sent him very revealing snaps and asked him to meet outside of school. The teacher at North High School in Eau Claire admitted during her police interview that the snaps potentially included nudes. I mean, maybe. I don't remember. I mean, I'm naked at home all the time. Anyway, the teacher, who faces up to 40 years if convicted, allegedly told the student she couldn't wait to see him and claimed seeing him made her body feel a certain way. She also encouraged him to skip class so he could come over to her apartment, with the last request just hours before she was busted. Say he probably became an informant at that point, you know. But I trusted you. Well, I shouldn't be asking you this, but will you come over? She allegedly messaged him. Horn brought both victims to her home to hang out before allegedly having sex with the second boy. She admitted that a third student was also at her apartment and admitted to giving the boys wine, but denied supplying them with drugs. Well, alcohol, you know. Horn also wildly claimed she didn't feel as if she was taking advantage of the boys. Okay. Horn has been hit with a second-degree sexual charge, 2 counts of child enticement, and 2 counts of sexual assault of a child by someone who works with kids or volunteers. The teacher, suspended without pay. Yes, she's suspended, but hey, look, innocent until proven. Oh, the nudes and she's already admitted. Okay. Well, she appeared at Wisconsin court hearing, and there you go. She's posted a $15,000 bond and was released from jail. So, you know, they'll call her Miss Naughty Harney, you know, and all that. And that's how that goes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are 16, and of course, you know, in some states that's age of consent. So yeah, it's still serious. She's in the position of power, but a lot of that is like, hey, look, the age gap's not all that much. So you know, that's why she's. I didn't see it. You knew exactly what the problem was. You're irresponsible and stupid. And the stupid part is enough to make you unfit to teach anybody anything. So, and oh crap, I forgot the special ed situation. Damn. Oh, yeah. Forget all about it. All right. We don't know the mental capacity of these 2 boys or 3 boys, maybe 4. And that's, oh boy, that's a big problem there too. Because then you can say, hey, look, in some states, you know, and of course, it doesn't matter if you're. I don't know what the age of consent is in Wisconsin, but you know, you know, it sucks to be you, doesn't it? If it doesn't work out that way, but here, they may have a much reduced mental capacity. So, It's just bad all around. You really shouldn't do it, dummy. But she did because seeing him made her body feel a certain way, you know. Maybe she'll testify that it's really his fault, you know, but yeah, that won't work either. So, hey, I want to buy you a phone. Oh, no. I mean, she's obsessing on this kid probably day one. So, man, it's like everywhere you go in these schools these days. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Damn it, always forgetting the mic. Boy, ain't that the truth, huh? See, that was the line. Everywhere you go. It's these teachers. I mean, it's almost as if I want to be a teacher because, well, you know. And then, well, all that happens. So, special ed teacher. Well, I didn't really see it as taking advantage of special ed students. But anyway, yeah, I didn't get I did the graphic with her original mugshot there. Boy, she did not look happy. She looked really upset. Later on, they got her there sitting there, I guess at court or whatever. She got her glasses on. She's just kind of like, yeah. What the hell was that? Damn. All of a sudden it kicked me out. Look, I'm doing everything. I even turned off OBS and you're still going to give me crap. All right. It looks like I'm still there and I can be heard and all that. Jeez. Well, I guess I better get through these stories while I'm still allowed to do so. But anyway, yeah, there you go. Special ed teacher. Good Lord. There's only so many of these stories one can stand. Surely there's something else going on. There can't possibly be another one like this, could there? This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, it appears some anonymous tattletale told on a Kentucky teacher and soccer coach. Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you guess what the anonymous tip said? That's right. Soccer coach and teacher was having sex with a student. A Kentucky high school teacher and assistant soccer coach has been arrested for allegedly having sex with a student after an anonymous tip. Mary Hannah Mattingly, a 31-year-old substitute teacher at Bardstown High School in Kentucky, was arrested after she allegedly had sexual contact with a student and sent him nude photographs. Well, they got you now. Mattingly, who also served as, the assistant girls soccer coach, was immediately placed on leave last week after the school received an anonymous letter alleging she and an unidentified student had inappropriate contact. Well, maybe it was an accident, Someone tripped and fell on top of the other. Stuff like that. You never know. Oh, boy, she's married with 2 kids. It's Bardstown City Schools immediately initiated, I thought they said irritated an investigation, initiated an investigation, removed the individual from her job duties, placed her on administrative leave, and alerted the authorities. Well, that's nice. Anyway, investigators allege that Mattingly, being in the position of special trust as a school teacher at Bardstown High School, engaged in sexual contact with a high school student. Yes, you said it for the millionth time. She and the student also exchanged messages over the phone, and she allegedly sent him partially nude photographs. Was she in a bikini? Well, she's in her underwear, maybe? I don't know. Mattingly was arrested and charged with first-degree sexual abuse and procuring or promoting abuse of a minor by electronic means. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, here she is. She's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh boy, there she is on the wedding day. Well, she's being held on $20,000 bond at the Nelson County Jail. No relation. And, well, she'll go to court. Anyway, Bardstown, it's a city of about 13,500. It's located about 40 miles south of Louisville. So, well, how bad they say partially nude? I mean, hey, look, you can see her shoulder and her knee. She's partially nude here, you know. Oh, wait, this you can see her belly. She's partially, Now, I'm assuming there's maybe some tit, something like that. Oh boy, she looks stunned, you know. Who could have been the anonymous tip? Well, probably one of the guy's friends. Let's check it out. That's right. I'm banging Miss Madeline or Miss Mattingly. Yeah, whatever. And, oh, dude. And then it's like, man, why should he have all the fun? Butthole, I'm going to tell. So he does. And there you go. And they said, let's see that phone. She's like, habit, my phone. Why? Habit. And they look, uh-huh. Yeah. And there it all goes. Marriage, kids, job. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Unless you, again, can make a compelling case that this student is obsessed with her. He doctored the photos, and she's completely innocent, and this is really horrible. But that'd be your best bet. Of course, innocent till proven guilty, but nevertheless. And I mean, look, with AI and stuff, you can make a pretty good convincing photo of anybody. Not me. Don't you ever do that. But, you could do it. But seems, you could, at least at this point, check that as well, artifacts and whatnot in it. So I don't know that it sounds like. And in the text, what were they talking about? Huh? I really like it when that kind of thing. So, but it was an anonymous tipster. Was it the victim himself? It's possible. Sometimes that is the case, but probably, yeah, because it's like, hey, don't tell anybody, all right? Oh, no. You went to school yourself. Don't you know anything about boys? There's no way he's going to keep that to himself. And he's banging the teacher. He's just going to crow about that all day long to all his buddies. And they're like, you're full of shit. No, I'm not. Look. He holds the phone up. And then they're going to like, that's AI. No, it ain't. Watch. And he, just like the police will do. So anyway, yeah. So there's slight chance that it might all be BS and she's just been humiliated like this and it's terrible. But once that comes to light, I think it'll only make her family stronger, Yeah, it's probably all true and she's done, what are you going to do? This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. One wonders if that scenario's ever played out. I mean, has it? Because I know it's been claimed in some stories, and then there was just too much overwhelming evidence. And they said, no, you did it. But that it could be the scenario where there's some student gets obsessed with the teacher and makes all these claims about her and everything. And it turns out, it was just him, lying and whatnot. And then, could you fake it? Could you get a hold of her phone to make it appear she had conversations with you where she's not looking? How does he get access to her phone and all that? So odds are, no, that will not be the case. She did it. What the hell is this? And it's that stunned look in there. It's like, well. Oh, well, anyway. Is there any way to vet these people better? Apparently not. No. That's the old saying, I guess. Good help is hard to find. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, there's a big nasty scandal in New Jersey concerning a teacher. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, that's what it is. The married former New Jersey teacher accused of sexually assaulting her middle school student also sent him creepy nudes, as her husband's relative hinted the couple could be headed for Splitsville over the embarrassing charges. Well, yes. The disturbing allegations against Ashley Pfister? Oh, Fissler. Or Fiesler? Nah, Fissler. 36 revealed she had sex with the minor student twice and performed a sex act 4 times, including in the very classroom she taught in. Fissler was arrested and charged with child sex abuse after the now adult victim recently went to police alleging that she abused him in 2021 when he was a student in her social studies class at Orchard Valley Middle School in Washington Township, Gloucester, anyway, that county. The alleged victim was between 13 and 16 years old at the time. Text exchanges between Fissler and the victim corroborated the sordid details he described of their sick tryst and included multiple nude photographs of Fissler. Fissler and the boy had intercourse and oral sex in her car on 2 occasions, and twice she performed oral sex on him in her classroom. That classroom appeared to be the same one where her husband proposed in 2018 in front of shocked students. Oh no! A mind-bogglingly social media photo shot. Well, obviously this isn't it. That's not her husband, right? Good Lord, this could get it. Oh wait, is it? Oh no, there it is. Oh no. Oh, jeez. Man, he goes through all this trouble for her. And what does she do? She's checking out the boys in her class. And one of them, well, you know the joke. Another picture shows the couple beaming as Fissler shows off her new rock in front of school lookers on the same day. Fissler denied the allegations during a March 19th interview with Washington Township Police. Still, she was arrested and charged with 6 counts of first-degree sexual assault of a minor, 1 count of second-degree endangering the welfare of a child, and 1 count of second-degree official misconduct. Well, it's official now. The top charges carry a maximum of 20 years in prison. She won't get it. While both second-degree charges carry a maximum of 10 years. Oh, well, combined, maybe she will. Anyway, Fissler appeared for a brief video court hearing where a judge read her the charges she is facing and set a bail hearing. She will remain behind bars until then. Fissler's lawyer, Rocco Ciparone, told the New York City Post by phone that his client plans to aggressively present a defense to those charges. Well, how are you going to explain the text and the nudes? He also said he believes he has strong grounds to oppose prosecutors' request to hold Fissler without bail pending trial. She has no prior criminal record. She has been a lifelong resident of New Jersey. She is a property owner. Yeah, she can't just leave her property. Come on. Her entire family is here, and she's not at risk of flight because of all that, you know. These allegations go back 5 years. Come on, get over it. You have this 5-year gap Plus, well, I think the age gap's probably a little longer. But anyway, where now all of a sudden they're going to say she's a danger to the community. I'm optimistic. I think I have strong reasons to have her released. Well, you mean just for bail? You think you can win this case and get her acquitted? Washington Township School District Superintendent Eric Hibbs said Fissler's employment ended in April 2023, but declined to provide further details. So you probably knew something was up, right? Yeah. The district takes matters involving the safety and well-being of our students extremely seriously, and officials are fully cooperating with law enforcement on the matter. In 2019, an 8th grade student wrote an essay praising Fissler as a hero who had a lasting impact on kids. That same year, District Social Studies Supervisor Jeff Snyder told NewJersey.com that Fissler was a great teacher. Not only does she make her lessons interactive and engaging, but she also prides herself in making personal connections with all her students. But then there's the favorite, right? After leaving Orchard Valley, Fissler launched her own apparel company selling unofficial merchandise for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. She also worked as a business administrator for her husband's landscaping business in Sewell, New Jersey. Well, how about that? Fissler's husband could not be reached for comment. Yeah, you think he wants to weigh in? Let me weigh in on this. But relatives said he likely had no clue about the alleged tryst until recently and wouldn't stand for that kind of behavior from his wife. If the allegations are true, I don't think he'd stay with her, his stepbrother said. He's a good, upstanding guy. He has morals and everything. He wouldn't be the type to stay with her if he found out. Well, he found out, huh? Especially since this is already making the news. I feel like that's enough backlash to be like, all right, maybe we shouldn't be together anymore. The family member said Fissler had wanted to have children at one point, but her landscaper hubby had not been on board. So she's looking for a baby daddy at school. And regardless, as far as I know, they're married and happy together. Well, I don't know. Unless, hey, wait a minute. Are the nudes like AI images? You know? And that he managed to, but the text exchanges between the phones. So, where she admits to all the sex. Yeah, you probably should have kept the mask on, so you know. Well, and right off the bat, your lawyer says, come on, it was 5 years ago. I mean, what are the statute of limitations on this? And then it's like, well, the kid's an adult now. Why does he bring it up now? Well, I don't know. What kind of troubles does he have as a result of this? Or is it he's, still got a thing for her, but she's like, no, that's in the past. We just got to move on. And I got a marriage to worry about and all that sort of stuff. And then he's like, oh, yeah. And then dumps all the texts and nudes and stuff. Well, and you can't go around saying it's revenge porn because, well, he was a minor at the time you did this. And of course, you got to wonder, once it doesn't say so in the article, but I mean, what about her other computers and stuff? Can you see if there were others? Could be. So, but your first line of it, and this was just about the bail, it says, I think I can get her out. It was only 5 years ago. Yeah. Doesn't look good for Miss Fissler. So, yeah, probably the husband's like, yeah, okay. We're done. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Odds are that is the case. So, you think any of these people are misunderstood and they got it all wrong, or it all happened just as described? You know, it's all well documented on phones. That's the thing. Especially that one story where the lady went out and bought him the phone so she could send him her messages and nude. Ah, jeez. How desperate do you gotta be? But again, it does appear a good help is hard to find when it comes to education. And what are you going to do? Is there no one out there who has the simple decency not to corrupt minors through seduction like that? Is there any hope on the horizon at all? This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Apparently, a teacher who reeked of weed all the time was apparently caught. No, she wasn't caught doing that. She was just caught selling dope. That's all. Relax. A teacher who reeked of marijuana was busted for selling drugs at the high school where she taught. Jocelyn MacArthur, a 33-year-old honors math teacher, was caught with pot she intended to sell on campus at Over Hills High School in Spring Lake, North Carolina. Oh boy. She's like, damn it. She was also charged with having a pink-colored stun gun on school property. Well, you know, sometimes the drug trade, it gets violent, so you're going to need to pack. Anyway, one of MacArthur's former colleagues told WRAL her arrest came after a years-long pattern of erratic behavior and claimed the administration had previously tried to have her removed. Yeah, I bet, but let me guess. Union said no. She reeked of marijuana every single day. Her classroom reeked of marijuana every single day. Well, she's token in the classroom. Said a coworker who wanted to remain anonymous. This is nothing new. This has been an ongoing situation. Our principal tried to fire this woman twice. He sent her home. The county office sent her back to the school. MacArthur, who was in her 5th year of teaching at the school, is the mother of 2 daughters, ages 10 and 14. Oh, jeez. MacArthur is charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver near a school, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a controlled substance, and having a taser on school property. Well, she's being held on $100,000 bond at the Hammett County Jail. Well, there you go. Stupid. Yeah, I bet all that hair, it just wafts of weed as she passes by, you know. So what's the deal? Look, you like to smoke weed, but you bring it to the school and all that stuff. You know, that's pretty stupid. And then you decide, you know what? I'm going to sell some of this. So what is it? I know the gas prices have skyrocketed. So maybe that's it. It's really cutting into her budget, and her school pay just not going to cover everything, especially procuring more weed. So she decided, well, you know what? I'll sell some of these. And hey, how about this bag of weed here? You know, and that's what she did. But the good news is that's all she did. A little entrepreneurship from the math teacher. And that's it. Seems almost innocent, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Yeah, you try to look on the bright side in terrible stories like these. And after that series of terrible teachers, and we get one, she shouldn't be doing that. But, you hear about, oh, your child was involved with the teaching. Like, oh my God, oh no. No, 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 relax. She's just selling him wheat. Oh, yeah. But that, there it is. You entrust your children with these teachers. America is entrusting teachers with the future of this country. And they do this to them. It's terrible. It's really awful. Anyway, you know what? This whole thing is brought to you by supertip.gg/Doug, not the entirety of Supertip, just the one that's for me. So you head over there and you can make use of the voice tips with the funny little characters. Oh, man, you can never get enough of those. Or you can send an image tip. The AI there will help you if you're not quite the artist, Or just send a text message and it's fine. I'll read it. Oh, yes, I will. Now the images, sometimes people send things like these teachers do. Oh, we won't be able to do that. So I'll be proofreading. But don't worry, I will acknowledge that it happened and go, yeah, I see what you did there. Because they can't afford to lose the channel over something like that. But other than that, it's a great way to interact with your host. And in this case, that's me. So there you go. Consider Super Tip. I have it pinned in the chat, But anyway, good Lord, what a terrible series of stories that really brings everyone's mood down because it involves the most innocent of victims, really, minors, children, so surely there's other stories that can get our mind off of that kind of thing, and so we won't feel so bad about our faith and humanity. That's important. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, there's this murder case out of Los Angeles of this woman who's apparently killed by her lover, her boyfriend. But plot twist, it turns out the boyfriend wasn't a boy or man. For all her family and friends knew, Carla Maribel Rodriguez's much younger mystery boyfriend was a sweetheart. But the 48-year-old was hiding a big secret that's only been exposed by the shocking way her life ended, allegedly by multiple gunshots at the hands of the same man she'd been gushing about like a teenager. Her alleged killer, arrested at the couple's rented $2.4 million Beverly Grove home, is Emily Emerald Vogt, 27, a seemingly troubled, you think, trans man who'd been bankrolling the couple's flashy lifestyle. So she was bankrolled. Well, anyway. So in this case, you got to understand, yes, we have a transgender person, this person right here. But in this case, the trans man is a woman who wants to be a man. So, the mastectomy, the hormones for facial hair and stuff like that. I don't know about the, hey, look, she's reaching under. Police had been called to the couple's home on Lapeer Drive near 3rd Street, Beverly Grove, just before 8:30 a.m. after reports of gunfire, and found Rodriguez had been shot numerous times. She would die a short time later in the hospital. Her beloved dog, Prince, who she had immortalized on the wall as a portrait, was also allegedly shot dead. Now, look, there's no call for that. This really is a vile villain, isn't it? Vogt is being held at Century Regional Detention Center an all-female jailhouse in Linwood on what's that, $3,075,000 bail, which was increased from an initial $2 million due to the seriousness of the crime. Yeah, once they discovered the dog. So anyway, Rodriguez's brother, Joshua Vasquez, 39, told the California Post investigators have told his family that Vogt used his middle name Emerald and was transitioning to become a man. Vasquez said investigators described Vogt as very possessive and obsessed with his sister and believes Rodriguez may have been planning to leave the relationship. Well, maybe Vogt fooled her for a bit and then suddenly, hey, wait a minute. And then, well, police have alleged the killing stemmed from a domestic dispute, most likely. Yeah, detectives were seen removing a rifle case from the couple's black Lamborghini Urus. Okay. Well, anyway, the couple, who'd been dating for almost a year, embraced an extravagant lifestyle with a lavish Christmas and New Year's spent in Aspen and Solvang, followed by a sojourn in Mammoth in February, and then a decadent 3 days at the five-star Ritz-Carlton with spectacular views over the cliffs of Dana Point. Rooms at the hotel start at $1,000, and her friends were quick to comment, luxurious, that's fancy. Happy for you, girl. Just 3 weeks later, Rodriguez would be dead, allegedly murdered in the most horrific fashion at the hands of the lover she had described as the peanut butter to my jelly. Friends and family had assumed she was dating a man, heavily tattooed and with a wispy beard, always wearing sunglasses and trucker hats in photographs. They were shocked to discover the caring, divorced massage therapist who moved from Modesto to Los Angeles in December 2024 had a boy toy lover, saying she'd always dated men. Yeah, I think she thought she was dating a man here too, and then, Close friend Jacqueline Dobson, 64, told the Post, I'd never met her boyfriend. I didn't even get a name. She told me he was wonderful to her. He's peanut butter to my jelly, and I'm in love. Well, but Dobson admits she'd grown suspicious of the couple's extravagant lifestyle of holidays and fine dining while jaunting through Los Angeles in a black Lamborghini SUV worth about $250,000. I was always trying to figure out how they were able to do all these extravagant things. They were living quite a rich and famous life. Records show Vogt stood to inherit a family trust valued at approximately $2.9 million, tied to a commercial property in Ventura Boulevard, on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks. The trust was established by Vogt's grandmother, Paula Vogt, and passed to her daughter, Anita Vogt, in 2013. Anita died in 2022, leaving Vogt as the sole heir. Despite this, Rodriguez had told her mother she was paying $1,000 per month to live in the Airbnb property the couple shared. Uh-oh. So the money issues became a problem, too. So anyway, a dog sitter confirmed the couple's odd relationship, saying the pair lived in separate bedrooms. She also said she had been unaware Vogt was biologically female. Vogt was a husky called, has a husky called Lucy. Well, is husky really? Attorney Stephen Tamer, who represented Vogt in the trust matter and served as successor trustee, declined to comment. I don't have authority to speak regarding the case, he said. Rodriguez's aunt, Marcela Garcia, 59, said the family had never met Vogt and knew almost nothing about the relationship. No one in the family had met this person, she said. Garcia said she had assumed her niece was dating a man and was alarmed by photos she later saw online. He was a little strange and weird looking, she said. Rodriguez had told her she was trying something different, but gave no further details. Oh, well, I guess at some point, maybe that wasn't the big fight. The big fight was probably about the money, you know. Anyway, I told her I was pleased for her as long as she was happy, Garcia said. Vogdit appeared in court, and but the arraignment was postponed, and there we have it. So, all right, there we go. We've got the scenario. What happened here? What happened to peanut butter and jelly? And we can only speculate at this point. May never really know, but with the weird money issues that could have blown up, possibly she didn't know at first, and then discovers, oh, you're really a woman. Well, and yet, you know, tells a friend, hey, look, I'm trying something a little different this time, but you know, I'm really happy and excited or whatever. Does that mean she says, well, I'm gonna actually be with a woman, but you know, he he's trying to be a man and all this sort of whatever, and that sort of thing. And if that's the situation, of course it could have just have been, well, I'm dating this really young guy, you know, could have been that. But anyway, or all of the above. Hell, I don't know. And it ended in this horrific homicide. Well, if only there were some warning signs, but well, there you go. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Weird, huh? Well, there you go. Yeah, I guess unless the perpetrator here tells the whole story and says, well, it all came down to this, and then you might figure out exactly what happened. But then who's going to believe her, him, them, that? So, you know, whatever. But anyway, there you go. It's a strange, kind of sort of murder mystery. I mean, we know who the perpetrator is, so it's not that much of a mystery. But why? Why? Well, it's throwing a lot of money around, so that might be a big factor there. Well, anyway, one would have thought peanut butter and jelly would get along better since they seem to work so well together, you know, in a sandwich. But I don't know. Wasn't the case. It's too bad. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Nude woman with a dog in a baby stroller bites a shopper at the grocery store. Video footage captured a bizarre attack by a woman who ended up naked while pushing a dog in a baby stroller at a Pennsylvania grocery store. The White Oak Police Department said it responded to a call about an irate woman tossing items at a Giant Eagles supermarket in White Oak, a suburb of Pittsburgh. Police said the store's surveillance video showed shoppers trying to get out of the way of 53-year-old Tammy Knut. Yeah, Knut of North Huntington after she started angrily throwing items in the store. They reported seeing her with blood coming from her face. What? At one point in the video, a store employee tries to calm Knut down, but she kicks him in the groin, leading to gasps from the onlookers. She also allegedly performed sexually explicit acts before grabbing the worker's face. You better knock it off, one shopper yells to the woman. Well, that'll teach her. When a customer intervenes, Knut ends up stripping naked. She then allegedly attacked a female customer on her way out and bit her hand hard enough to leave a puncture wound. Officers could observe a store display in disarray and damaged and items scattered disarray and damaged and items scattered about the store. Officers also observed numerous children in the store whose parents were trying to shield their eyes from Knut, who was nude. No other victims came forward. What police believe They may have hit others. Oh, she may have hit others. Yeah. Anyway, oh boy. The dog in Knut's stroller was identified as a Westie breed and is said to be in good condition at the Sable Kennel, a dog rescue. The rescue is seeking a relative of Knut to take possession of the dog. Knut was booked into the Allegheny County Jail and faces charges of assault, indecent exposure, open lewdness, harassment, and disorderly conduct. Customers of the grocery store said they were shocked by the incident. I hope she gets the help that she needs. You just can't get involved when those things happen, Mary Sutton said. Well, stripping down naked is one surefire way to keep people away from you. Maybe that was the strategy, although apparently engaging in sex acts, I guess she started doing herself right then and there. I don't know. Oh, there she goes, kicking the guy in the groin. Good boy, she's really grinding her foot into the guy. There you go. Again, a possible strategy of trying to keep people at bay. And I mean, it's all very blurry and not very great footage. So, but I don't know. It's probably like, you didn't want to see that. So, yeah, it's going to work. There's a lot of these things about people crying about police brutality and stuff. When that happens, look, if you know you're going to be taken in and you're really worried they might really just overdo it with you, strip naked. And they're going to they still got to take you into custody and cuff you and everything. But they really don't want to touch you at all. I mean, more than usual. So, it is a tactic here, though. She's just doing it to customers over what? I don't know. Yeah, there's really nothing in there but what? If somebody said, hey, look at that. Is that your kid? Are you saying I'm a bitch? And then there you go. Could be. Could be. Oh, well, there you go. Naked woman with dog and baby stroller bites shopper. Hmm. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. Well, these things happen. There's all kinds of crazies out there. And what are you going to do? It happens. Hopefully you don't get bitten and that sort of thing. And hopefully you don't have to get touched by some crazy woman's naked butt and all that sort of stuff. And you can resolve it. But thank God, there's responsible people around that keeps everything orderly and functioning. And we don't have to worry too much about any of them losing their cool while they're at the reins of, well, power, really. That's important. It is. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. It appears that Christine Holmes' husband has been leading a secret double life as a cross-dresser. It's a strange choice of hobbies, but, well, there it is. Former Department of Homeland Security Chief Kristi Noem is devastated by salacious allegations her husband, Brian, lives a double life where he cross-dresses and chats online with fetish models. Miss Noem is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at the time. According to reporting by the Daily Mail, Brian Noem chatted up women from the so-called bimbofication fetish scene, in which adult performers augment their breasts with massive amounts of saline to achieve a Barbie doll-like appearance. Okay. Citing hundreds of messages purportedly sent by three women from the scene, Gnome's husband enthusiastically praised their heavily augmented appearances and proclaimed he coveted huge, ridiculous boobs. One photo, the male claims Brian Gnome shared with the women, features him wearing pink hot pants and a flesh colored skin tight suit. He appears to have put balloons in his shirt to mimic comically oversized lopsided breasts, complete with fake protruding nipples. His face is fully visible in several of the photos, one with a completely straight visage and another making a flirtatious kissy face with pursed lips. Brian, who made his fortune in the insurance industry, allegedly sent women he met in the online fetish community some $25,000 via Cash App and PayPal as he admired their over-the-top bust sizes and amazing curves. He traded selfies with one woman he pledged to worship like a goddess, telling her, "You turned me into a girl," before asking if he should put on leggings. One of the models claimed she once butt dialed Jason and heard a voicemail greeting saying, "Gnome Insurance, leave a message." When she Googled Gnome Insurance, she found pictures of Brian and his DHS secretary wife. When she confronted him about it, he reportedly told her that he didn't care. Well, the New York Post hasn't confirmed the details reported by the Mail, but, well, the outlet spoke to national security experts who surmised her husband's alleged proclivities could have left the former DHS secretary, who was fired last month, vulnerable to potential blackmail. The Gnomes have three children, and that's... Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Um, in a in a 2022 interview with Elysian, Christy Nome said, "We are such a transparent family," over their willingness to put their family life out there, adding that they're an open book. There you go. That's them in happier times, you know. However, big questions have swirled about the state of the Gnome's marriage in recent years, primarily concerning the ousted DHS chief's relationship with Trump confidant Corey Lewandowski. Boy, and you thought that was the big scandal. You know, Lewandowski, who is also married, has been by Gnome's side at high-profile events, even sitting side by side across from Guyanese President uh, Irfan Ali during a meeting in the South American country earlier this month. So there they are in their younger days when they got married. Well, a lot's changed since then. The cozy appearance came just weeks after she was grilled over the alleged affair in a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing in which she dodged questions as Brian sat directly behind her. I assume he wasn't wearing the hot pants, you know. Hey, look, maybe she needed a distraction from the affair with Lewandowski. But then again, you know, you go like, well, you can kind of understand the affair now. You know, I'm assuming Lewandowski doesn't like to wear panties or whatever. So she's like, yeah, this is better. Oh, God. What the hell's going on? look, it's fine because he said he didn't care. So there you go.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Well, I'm sure that'll all work out for everyone involved. Yeah. Sometimes grocery store shopping is so mundane you just feel like spicing things up a bit. It could be that, the boredom. You go there all the time. Seems like you got to go there just about every other day. So, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. You got to go through there. You get lost in the aisles and you're looking at this and then, it's just, good Lord, it drones on. And suddenly, I don't know, you just want to rip your clothes off and bite somebody. It can happen. It's a terrible thing. Hopefully not often, but one does have to worry about these situations. Evidently, So I guess we learned a powerful lesson there. But sometimes relationships, we've seen this, that relationships do fall apart. And some amount of violence can occur. It's a sad thing. You don't want to see it. But there's also the mess that can be made to the place. Even when the topic of the place being messy might lead to the fight that ultimately ends the relationship.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
A Florida woman has been charged with pickle assault. When officers arrived on the scene, there were pickles and pickle juice scattered across the apartment. And Kaylin Blaine's boyfriend and cohabitant had a knot on the top of his head where she allegedly had clobbered him with a glass jar of the briny delicacy. Probably called him a knothead and everything. So anyway, Blaine, 32, and the 34-year-old victim argued about the cleanliness of their Clearwater, Florida apartment. Blaine and the man have dated for 6 years and are parents of a 2-year-old girl. Oh, boy. After being accused of making the mess, Blaine reportedly got agitated and grabbed the glass jar of pickles from which she had been noshing. Blaine then allegedly struck the victim in the head with the jar, resulting in the pickle splatter observed by police. Blaine, who declined to speak with cops, was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a felony, and booked into the county jail. The pickle jar/weapon was not seized by police. Well, why not? It is the weapon. Now, I wonder if the guy had fallen over and, died from the injury, some sort of brain damage or whatever. Would it then be seized? Because it would be a murder weapon? I don't know. Anyway, Blaine was released quickly from custody on her own recognizance, and a judge has ordered her to have no contact with the victim. Is she not allowed to purchase pickles as well? Yeah. Blaine and the company of law enforcement will be allowed a one-time visit to the home she shared with the victim for the retrieval of her personal belongings, which presumably could include the pickles in question. I don't know that they should allow that. She's obviously shown her inability to be responsible around pickles. Now, I'm a comic book guy, so of course, if this were Gotham City, she would become known as the Pickler. There's nothing mentioned there that she wasn't pickled herself. They said she was eating them, but that's not going to do that. So, it just got the guy saying, "You're a slob. This place looks like a pigsty because, again, you're a slob." So she hits him in the face with the pickle jar, and then the pickles went flying, which didn't solve the problem. The place is messy. Then again, now he's got to clean it himself because she's out of there. I wonder, I guess he has custody of the girl now? Oh. Oh, well, it's too bad. She's really cute, but nobody wants a knothead from being pickled. No, they don't.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Well, as you know, I do tend to want to end the show on a light note, but I mean, the worst of it was the mess the Pickles made. And, you know, the guy got a bump on the head, but he'll probably be all right. It's just sad that they had a kid together. You know, you think they'd be more responsible, you know. Oh, well, it didn't work out that way. But finally, I did find a story that, you know, because we're coming into the holiday season with Easter and everything. So, hey, wouldn't it be appropriate to have an Easter story to go out on for the Nailsin News Show? And as luck would have it, there is one. Oh, yeah.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
A man has been arrested for groping the Easter Bunny. Well, a New Jersey man is behind bars for allegedly groping the Easter Bunny at a Pennsylvania shopping center. According to police, Shivak Rishna Bera, 36, was at the South Hills Village Mall in Pittsburgh when he approached the area where a woman dressed as the Easter Bunny was posing for photos. I'm assuming the costume looked like this. That might actually be the photo, not the Playboy outfit, you know. Anyway, Bera began questioning the costume character who directed his inquiries to her assistant. At one point, the assistant told police, Bera asked about who was inside the costume, saying, "Is it a boy or a girl?" As detailed in a criminal complaint, Bera then began touching the costume woman's arm and chest and grabbed her breasts. He also allegedly shoved his fingers inside the nose and mouth of the Easter Bunny's costume head. Bera was subsequently arrested inside a movie theater near the mall. When questioned by officers about the Easter Bunny incident, Bera reportedly asked, "It's a doll, right?" When told a person was inside the costume, Bera said, "By mistake, my hand touched her. If it's a lady." While in custody at the local police station, Bera, cops say, said that he touched the bunny costume to test if it's real titties or fake titties. Oh, well. Okay. So he's an inspector. Bera, whose driver's license carries a Jersey City address, was charged with indecent assault and harassment, and he's locked up on $10,000 bail. The mall's Bunny Photo Experience opened on March 6th and runs until April 4th. Prospective candidates were offered a $100 signing bonus as a seasonal bunny character performer. A hiring notice claimed that the gig was ideal for actors, theater students, and performers who enjoy immersive character work and audience engagement. Well, I guess you got that a little more than you expected. But good Lord, is nothing sacred anymore? No. I mean, what was he first? Well, where are you hiding the eggs? You know, and all that. But there he is like, oh, I didn't know that was real. But no, you were asking the assistant, is that a boy in there or a girl? You know, I'm going to find out. You know. Anyway, so much for that asshole, you know.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
So there you go. That'll do it. You're caught up on the stories you desperately needed to know because most news outlets won't even bother. I mean, obviously, mostly New York Post here did, and I just read the article, but I'm the one who read it on a live stream. So, I think that shows just how responsible a journalist I am. Yeah, sure. Oh, well, have a happy Easter and all that good stuff. And of course, if can't support the show by super tip for some other reason, then perhaps, just perhaps, you could support it. I thought I had that ready to go. Come on, show up, stupid. There we go. Good Lord, I'm sure everyone loves hearing me go, So here we are at indieplanet.com. And look, there's the Douglas Nailsin page. And see, you can do the indieplanet.com/Douglas-Nailsin. And oh boy, it's all the comic books that I have available at the store. And of course, Night Night, which is based on my audio plays of the same name from the Nailsin podcast. And I take those stories and adapt them into comic books. And I've done 3 so far. Then there's Sun King, also another audio play that's regularly featured in the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast or RadioMisfits.com or wherever you get your podcast. And, I only got one of those. But I'm working on another one. In fact, the Sun King part's done, but it's got a backup feature, just like this one, with Bubba Stargon, another audio play character that is featured in that comic book. So I gotta finish up his second part of his story in that second issue of Sun King, and then, someday soon, hopefully, it'll be available. And then, of course, you got Doodleverse comics with all your Dabbleverse characters featured in there. And then there's Doodleverse comics too. Boy, I'd love to say it's right here. It's not. So I thought, hey, I need to have copies for Hackamania. So I went to another printer, and it looked like they could do it a lot faster. So I did that. And, wait, it's not sharing the damn screen, is it? You're supposed to, of course. Jeez. All right. We'll just leave it like that. I apologize. I feel like an idiot because, So anyway, here's the comics. There's Doodleverse comics. There's Night Night. The 3 issues. Sun King. And of course, here's the page, and you'll find it there. So Doodleverse number 2, which will be a whopping 40 pages. Send it off. It's not going to be ready in time for that. So found another printer. Sent it over there. They're a lot faster. And but there was a hold up. But they did tell me, it's going to be there, available in April 12th. So when I come back home from Vegas, they should be waiting for me here at home. So ordered all those copies for naught. Well, I'll find something to do with those. So I'm bringing a sketch pad so I can do some drawings right then and there should anybody be interested in that sort of thing. And just do that. But I won't be able to sign any copies of my comic books because why? Because I'm Doug, nerd. I'm Doug. And that's how that goes. Story of my life, Oh, well, I tried. I did. I did try. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Nodak says he wouldn't let her kill those puppies under his shirt. Oh, that's right. Christine Holmes, she shot that dog, you know. So he had to protect the puppies. See, that could be his whole thing. Nodak says, what are you saying here? Fishing for a pickle, hey? Yeah. Alexander says, I needed those laughs so much. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad I could provide. What else you gonna do? I mean, these are really horrible stories, you know. But if you don't laugh, you'll go insane. Hopefully, not to the point of insanity of the people featured in these stories. Again, in some of these cases, innocent till proven guilty. But again, you know, text messages and photographs in the phone. Yeah. Yeah, but the only texted image we got to see was Mr. Gnome in his pink hot pants. Yeah. Oh, well, better luck next time. So anyway, there we go. That's the show. I got to go straighten out my leg before I have a clot and stroke from it and stuff like that. So, will I get to do one later Thursday night, which it is now Thursday? Hopefully, I don't know. But if I can, hey, I will. I don't know what I'll talk about. Well, I could just do a drawing stream. This was the Nailsin News stream. I could do the drawing stream. There's something. All right, there we go. And hopefully everything works. Seemed to work more or less. It did get kicked off for a second there, though. I don't know what that's about. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's like one of those to be continued. Stay tuned. Oh my God. Well, what, you know, we're going to end on a cliffhanger. Oh no. What does it mean? Oh, you're on the edge of your seat until the next Doug Nailsin show. All of these shows are really called the Doug Nailsin Show. Somehow that just seems appropriate. It's my name. I'm the only one doing it. Should probably take credit for it up front. Anyway, have a good rest of your night, day, morning, whatever. And we'll visit again, hopefully soon.
Crazy bitch news. Bitches they cray cray. She cray and she look, and that's pretty cray. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Crazy bitch news. Crazy bitch news. Crazy bitch news. Bitches we cray cray. She crayed and she look, and that's pretty cray. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Crazy bitch news. Crazy bitch news. It's all in her eyes, somewhere between the lies, the shrinking of her sides, the trap between her thighs. Bitches be cray cray. She crayed and she looked, and that's pretty cray. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Crazy bitch news. Crazy bitch news.
Welcome to Nailsin News, where the headlines are always a hit.
I'm hooked. What's the latest?
We've got the scoop on the hottest trends.